Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Corner, episode 57, AEW Revolution and Sacrifice reactions. So some good two pay-per-views past 2 weeks. Obviously, we weren't here last week. We took a bit of a break just due to scheduling, we'd say. But speaking of scheduling, you can see it's a Wednesday morning. And it's also the new days for the Wrestling Corner. We're moving because the competition has got too heavy and we have to go to Tuesday nights now. No, we're moving to Wednesdays. It's a lot more easier, more of an open day, I think we said. But as always, I am joined by Simon. How are you today, pal?
Yeah, doing all right. We've got a lot to get through.
We do.
It's going to be a lengthy episode, but we'll get into it.
Well, so we'll go straight into it. Start off with the AEW Dynamite before Revolution. So about the things sort of thing. We had Shaq make his debut. His wrestling debut. It was Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet versus Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill. So I think initially Shaq did the typical big man moves, but you know what? Like a bunch of stuff stepped up. He wiped out the entire Nightmare family, which I think I kind of liked. After I think Austin Gunn hit Shaq with a steel chair. Jade Cargill and Red Velvet were actually having. It was a decent exchange. I think there was moments where it was sloppy, but it was just nice to see Shaq in the ring, to be honest.
Oh, it was fun. It was loads of fun. Really enjoyed it.
Shaq powerbombed Cody. Cody tried to body slam Shaq. Probably as good as you can body slam Shaq. And then I think the biggest moment in the thing, basically, Shaq was on the outside. On the ropes, but he was on the outside of the ropes, on the hardest part of the ring. Cody then bounces off the one side, crossbodies over the top rope into Shaq, who then just goes through two tables. Awful bump. Like if that was any other wrestler, we'd go, Jesus Christ, and it was the same with Shaq. We come back from advert break. Red Velvet picks up the Jade Cargill picks up the win for her team, but Shaq gets put into an ambulance. And you think, okay, this is actually quite cool. It was an awful bump for a non-wrestler. Tony Schiavone then goes to open the door and Shaq isn't in there. Now, I don't know whether... I don't know what they were going for here. I'll be honest. I don't know whether it was, wow, look at this big guy. He's just gone through the thing, but he's still surviving, or what.
He's going to pop up somewhere down the line across Cody.
100%. But I was just like, oh... Okay.
But it was odd. It was odd, but intriguing. Strange.
Yeah, exactly. It was what I think they call spooky in the wrestling world. It was a spooky kind of thing. But yeah, so Shaq made a debut. What did you think of it?
It was good, wasn't it? Like it was. What it needed to be. Honestly, it seems like such a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
It was so long, but it was. Yeah, it was good. I mean, Cody loves giving himself like the big matches and stuff, doesn't
he? He does,
doesn't
he?
It's just funny at this point.
In fairness, he's not the most experienced there, but he's probably the biggest name there that people will recognise. So, you know what? Oh, he's wrestling like a Cody guy. Cody Rhodes, I recognise that name. Google, he's from WWE. That's quite cool. I suppose and the only other person would be Jericho, but then you don't want to see Jericho as Shaq wrestling, do you really? So, Jericho. One thing I will mention on this episode of AEW, we had sort of a Four Horsemen sort of kind of thing. So it was Tully Blanchard and FTR, obviously Cash Wheeler Dex, accompanied by JJ Dillon versus Jurassic Express. So Blanchard hit a slingshot suplex on Marcos, and obviously Tully Blanchard actually wrestling. Luchasaurus hit Tully with a tail whip. At ringside, there's someone in a black mask interfered. FTR used the distraction, spike pile driver, and Tully pinned Luchasaurus, which I think, okay, but it was from a distraction. FTR was celebrating. The mask rolls into the ring. And it was Sean Spears takes off his mask. Sean Spears, they held up the four fingers. Arn Anderson comes out and holds it up as well. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, it was good to see him back. Obviously, we know why that happened and what that led into. But we'll come on to that.
100%. But tell you what, who do you think the fourth is?
The fourth, what?
Member. Could be Cody, right? In
But the
terms
fourth
of
member of what? The Horsemen.
well, in it. So if I'm right here, it's FTR, Sean Spears, but Tully's not the fourth, is he?
Wait, have you watched Dynamite this week?
Have I missed something? I've probably definitely missed something.
You're missing something.
This
Have you
is
not seen
definitely
the
going to be.
closing angle of Dynamite?
Nope. This is definitely. I just can't wait.
It's on JF.
Oh, idiot! Oh, what an idiot! I'm Wardlow.
Yeah.
Oh, what an idiot!
I didn't know whether you were having me on for a minute.
Well, I'll be honest. I technically was because I do know what it. I completely forgot that happened. In my head, I was going, "Oh, could be Cody." You know, Arn came out and did the 4 fingers. Fucking what a dickhead! What an absolute dickhead! Nothing much happened in that episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, well, the rest of it was just Revolution build.
100%.
Like,
But
and that's obviously been and gone. So.
We'll move on to Revolution. Thunder Rosa and Riho versus Dr. Britt Baker. Obviously, Rebel couldn't replace after getting a doctor's note from Britt Baker. Taking place with Maki Ito. Little crowd service. Even though there was no crowd. Fan service online.
Yeah.
People fell in love with Maki Ito.
Yeah, it was the right move to bring her across because she's obviously popular. But I was like, yeah, it's not for me. It was all right, wasn't it? We're on the buy-in. It wasn't on the main card.
Exactly. But opening the pay-per-view, it was the AEW World Tag Team Champs, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson versus the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho and MJF. And I tell you what, surprisingly, quite a good match.
Oh, I didn't like it.
I thought
it was just two classic Young Bucks.
I was worried that it was going to be the Young Bucks doing their typical move, but I thought both these teams, their styles were so contrasting that I really thought it was just going to be, Young Bucks hitting all these high-flying moves, but then just Jericho and MJF just hitting like typical MJF and Jericho stuff. I didn't think their styles would work together, but I think they did find a way.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I think it was towards the end. Someone took like a baseball bat to the back, and then I think MJF hit a heat seeker, and he still kicks out.
Yeah,
he just went too far. But that's the Young Bucks, isn't it? Like people, without sounding too Jim Cornette, because I'm not all of my silly nonsense, but it's just. It was a fair, fine enough opener. Things got.
That's the thing. It did sort of everything that you need in an opening tag team match. That's one thing that the Bucks are good at. Regardless if you don't like their style, they can open up a show and get you in the mood, I'd say. Then we had the Casino Tag Team Battle Royale. Now, I'm obviously not going to talk about everything, but the final 4 was the Meat Man, John Silver, Pac, Ray Phoenix, and Jungle Boy. Silver gets eliminated by Ray Phoenix after he walked the top rope. And then it was Phoenix and Pac left. Pac went to go attack Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy ducked. Pac basically threw himself over the top rope. Phoenix and Jungle Boy had a little mini match, poison rhinos, kicks and stuff. Phoenix clotheslines Jungle Boy over and eliminates him from the match. I mean, it's going to be an amazing match for the Young Bucks versus Pac and Phoenix. I don't think we can deny that.
I don't know if they're going to set it for Double or Nothing or do it before, but either way, it's going to be just going to be a hell of a match, isn't it?
It is.
It was fun. I really liked the tag team battle royale. The ending was just enjoyable.
It's one thing I think. Obviously, we talk about their tag team depth, but they really have. I actually quite like the whole casino thing of, you get given a spot in this match, you've got to come in here and then win it from there.
I mean, this wasn't so much the casino format though. This was just a Royal Rumble.
But it was on that similar line.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one thing they do really well is that the tag team scene. The tag team scene is very good in AEW. Hikaru
Shida beat Ryo Mizunami.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it was. It definitely wasn't the right person for a title change, but
I thought they might have done it. There were a couple of near falls where I sort of went close and thought they'd switched it.
I think it's. I'm just wondering who do you think beats Kuroshida?
Britt Baker.
You think Britt?
Yeah,
I mean,
don't know when, but down the line, next 6 months probably.
Yeah, it's hard to go against. She probably is the best women's star they've got right now. Yeah.
I agree.
Then we had Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor versus Miro and Kip. It's just Miro. He's breaking out in it.
Yeah, it would just big showing for Miro, really, wasn't it? Because the classic format of like this kind of matches, Orange Cassidy runs down and then makes the save, babyfaces get the win, and it was like, Miro just beats him anyway.
Which it fits perfectly to the gimmick. I think over the next coming weeks, months, we'll see Miro slowly. I don't know whether Kip will start getting pinned a bit more or something. But I think we're slowly on the path for Miro to turn on Kip. Yeah,
I totally agree.
So happened. Then my match of the night. It's not my match of the night. Is my boy Hangman Page versus Matt Hardy. It doesn't matter. The match was nothing really.
I was going to say I don't really have much interest in seeing Matt Hardy go 15 minutes on pay-per-view these days, with all due respect.
Same. But it was storyline. Hardy tries to get Private Party to come out and help him. Dark Order run out to even up the odds. Page hits the buckshot lariat, and he gets the win. He gets Matt Hardy's first early quarter earnings. First quarter earnings. There you go. And then the Dark Order gave him a big hug. Yay! Yeah, come on. It was fun.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I'm just looking at what came next. I wasn't into it. I kind of took a bit of a break in this match.
The Face of the Revolution match.
Yeah, well, obviously I was really happy to see Ethan Page, Karate Man, but he's like the least ladder match guy imaginable. Like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? He's just not old fashioned, but he's a bit of like he doesn't really do. He ain't a high spot wrestler.
No,
I mean, he was fine and stuff, but it was, I don't know. It just seemed to miss somewhere.
I'm glad that he's in AEW. I think I'm not going to say it was obvious, but I definitely think it was something that a lot of us probably saw coming.
Yeah.
In terms of the fact, you know what?
I was just going to say I knew it before he came out. Like I had seen some stuff.
I was just very surprised that it was this early, just from his Impact departure, just because of sort of how that departure went. I don't know whether it was obviously meant to be like that, like the sort of storyline and stuff, and I don't think it was. But fair play. I think he's a genuinely incredible, valuable asset to AEW.
No, sorry, I'm just Shane McMahon's just attacked the Miz on the road to WrestleMania for Fastlane 2 years ago, right in front of Miz dad.
God's sake!
Yeah, I was cheering on Max Caster in this match, but I just like Max Caster. I knew he was never going to win.
Same, but this is his chance now. Do you know, with Anthony Bowen's out injured for a couple of months, he's got the talent, 100%. Yeah. I wouldn't have hated it if he had won this match.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not into Scorpio Sky.
Same. And also he's embracing a heel side to himself, obviously, in the match and then after his match against Darby. But I don't know. I think I didn't want to see Cody win it just because we've had enough of Cody with the belt. Lance Archer, yes. Penta, yes. Max Caster, yes. Even Ethan Page, I wouldn't have mind winning it. Just I don't know why. I don't know whether there just hasn't been enough hype around hype around Scorpio Sky's turn.
Yeah,
do you know, from
injury?
I don't know
what it is, but it just has totally missed.
Bit flat. Yeah. Good match though. I love a good ladder match. Scorpio Sky wins that. Then we had our announcement from Justin Roberts to meet the man who's going to sign a contract with AEW tonight, and it was Christian Cage. Well, what do you think? There's been a lot of
It's fine. He's had a Hall of Worthy fame career. The problem is people think mystery announcement. They tell themselves it's CM Punk, and then it's not CM Punk, and then it's a disappointment.
It was never going to be CM Punk.
Who were they
Realistically,
expecting?
I think Christian is a good one. I like thinking it, like you said, Hall of Fame worthy. He can outwork anyone.
Yeah.
I think it's not incredible signing, but it's a very good signing. He'll be fresh in people's minds.
Yeah.
After the Rumble, I think it's a very good signing.
Be there for a few years, end his career on his own terms, have a few decent matches, and then by that point,
he'll be ready to.
It's not a long term. It's probably not a long term thing. It's just
probably
a
2
nice
years,
way
3
for
years.
him to sort of end. Yeah,
exactly. I'll let you take this match because I know you loved it.
My
the
match
street fight, Sting and Darby Allin versus Team Taz.
Just from the goofy sort of way when. I would say, like, whenever someone shows up, the music just plays in the background. You've got all the hoodlums and Darby and Sting, and you've just got, it's just weird, like, just Darby getting thrown through windows. Brian Cage, what was it? Darby Allin coffin dropping from the second floor through that massive table. And then Sting just randomly hit Sting a splash to get the win. Like, it was so fun. It reminded me of Boneyard. I just love that, like, grungy, spooky.
That's the thing.
Kind of silly cinematic match. The only thing I could have done without was the commentary in the background.
Yeah, I think it wasn't needed, but I think that's one thing that I think has been criticised in the past is AEW cinematic matches, Britt versus Big Swole, just have been bad. This proved that if you have the right head on it, like Darby Allin is so creative. Apparently, didn't he basically direct 90% of the match?
Yeah, I think so.
Which is, I think they did everything that they had to do. They had all the moments. We had Sting didn't wrestle a proper match, and that was the huge thing with it. Sting is not wrestling a 25-minute match in the middle of the ring. It's times where he can have breaks, he can have cuts, but yet he still looks like Sting.
Yep. Yeah.
Great.
It was great. And then we obviously had the main event, which was, it was good until the finish. If I'm honest, I'm tired. I'm not tired of speaking about the finish because I don't know. It's what this pay-per-view is going to be remembered for, and it's such a shame. Such a shame.
Exactly. So, I mean, let's talk about the match before occurring during it. Really good. Exploding Barbed Wire Death match. Moxley versus Omega. Really good match. Like some of the spots, I think, the exploding baseball bat. Just, genuinely, if that match didn't have the countdown at the end, people would really enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think
it was so close to being perfect.
And then obviously, the countdown starts happening. Eddie Kingston comes out and throws his body over Moxley, which is great. It's good storytelling. And then these little fireworks go off. These small little shit fireworks, sparklers even. And it really did just ruin it, unfortunately. And I think Kingston saw that. I think if they did what they did on AEW if Kenny had come out with the Callis and Good Brothers and just started laughing at them, made them look like...
I think they explained it quite well on Impact on AEW.
Yeah, same. That's the thing. I would like it if obviously I know it wasn't planned, but at the end of AEW, the Revolution, they came out and started laughing, and that's just made Kingston and Mox pissed off. But I like the backstage promo that Mox and Kingston did. I like the Omega stuff. They retconned it very well. Yeah,
I agree. And that was the show. It was a great pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was always going to be a good pay-per-view, bar the sort of what happened. If you know what I mean. But by the end, it was still great. Yeah. Surely it would have been big. They surely could have done something a bit bigger, couldn't they?
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Anything. It was just. I have watched it back and I've gone, oh god, like it really wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't worth the big build up. But move on. They do so much else right. They're allowed to dud every now and then.
Exactly. And then on the next AEW after, we had Eddie Kingston and John Moxley who showed drinking. And do you know what? The promo, we know it's Eddie Kingston, promo really good. Mox just said one thing that I kind of liked. So I'm continuing a few. So in Eddie, I think Impact paid for that bomb. Kenny, when it came to the mail, did it come with the big bob letter that said Acme? I didn't win my belt back at Revolution. All I got was this T-shirt, but I did get my drinking buddy back too, Kenny. The Good Brothers, if you're going to flash a weapon, you better use it. It sets up the match, I think it's next week, isn't it? Moxley and Kingston versus the Good Brothers, obviously. Good Brothers without the tag team belts as well. Just really nice. Really nice, little cheeky promo.
Eddie Kingston and John Moxley, and it's always going to be good.
Exactly. And we had another promo after the Cody match. So Cody beat Seth Gargis, and then Cody's about to reply to Tony Schiavone. Penta gets on the mic. Penta was on Spanish commentary, and he gets Alex Abrahantes as a translator. Of course, he's promo in Spanish, and Alex does a really good job of translating it, but still shows that passion. I know that people weren't a fan of this, but it just goes, at Revolution, you lost, and it just had to be, being you and me in that ring, you would have lost more than the match. You know why? Pedro Zero said he would have hurt Cody's injured arm so much that he wouldn't be able to pick up his baby. Baby. Cody just sprinted out, tried to attack Penta, and they got separated. Now, what are your opinions on that line?
That's how it's fine, isn't it? It's not going to have said it if Cody didn't approve it.
Oh, right. I know. I think Kieran was saying he's never a fan of them bringing in. I know Kieran was saying he's never a fan of people just bringing, like, the personal lives of stuff and kids and family. But
yeah,
I can understand.
Sometimes it can be done distastefully, but like, it's Cody's company. Do you know what I mean?
It was the way they did it that Penta cuts the promo in Spanish, and everyone's like, "Well, he must have said something," because Abraham has sort of looked a bit shocked. But then Abraham is sort of says what Penta said. But also, it doesn't just translate, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't just go, oh, and Penta says this, he goes, and he cuts it in English, which is...
Yeah, it was slightly clunky, but I didn't really like that. I didn't think that mattered that much, to be honest.
No, 100% not. I think it was always going to be a little bit clunky when you're translating a Spanish promo to English. It's like when you go Google Translate and try to translate a full English sentence, it's never going to be exactly the same as to what they've said. Sting appeared in a live interview. Ethan Page beat Lee Johnson. Alex Marvez interviewed Hangman Page. He bought a new lawnmower. They drove the Dark Order to get on with him. They went to go get some ice cream. They left 5 by himself. Christian Cage came out for an interview. He's going to interview Chris Cage. Kenny came out. They basically explained everything that happened in that match. Eddie Kingston came out. Christian Cage came out and sort of attacked Omega.
69 me on.
That did make me laugh. It did make me laugh.
Yeah, it was good. Kenny Omega's great. I can't wait to see him on Impact again.
He's low key, quite fun. He does the comedy stuff sort of well. He's very nerdy. Like he's a bit of a nerd. Isn't he?
He was well funny on Dark Elevation.
I haven't watched it yet.
I'm gonna come on to it when I do my rapid rundown of everything else. But yeah.
And then we had a trios match. It was Akira Shida, Ryo Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose, Maki Ito, and Dr. Britt Baker. Britt Baker picks up the win. Thunder Rosa. But Brett has the sort of gets the last laugh basically.
And that's this week, St. Patrick's Day Slam. Lights out. Yeah.
Yay. Darby Allin defeats Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky attacks Darby after the match. Basically, he's turned heel.
Yeah. I don't understand it, but if it gives him a bit more to cling on to.
And a bit more of a character,
it gives me a bit more to get invested in, then sure. It's not winning, though.
The Inner Circle War Council, quite like this. Really like this segment. So Chris said, it's time for a new outlet. Maybe it's time to introduce a new member to the Inner Circle. And MJF said, well, I don't think we need to add a new member. Maybe it's time to let someone go. Sammy Guevara comes out and sort of goes, Chris goes, wow, look who's here, what are you doing? Sammy goes, I need you to see this. I need you to show you something. Jeff said, you're dead to us. And then Sammy shows a little vignette of MJF telling Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz that it was time to rid the Inner Circle of Jericho. MJF said, I didn't want you to find out like this. Hager, Santana, and Ortiz acted like they were going to basically attack Jericho. Boom, they spun around. Shut up, you stupid idiot. On behalf of Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle, your ass is fired, as they pushed MJF to the mat. And then MJF, he's such a bitch, innit? He's such a bitch. He was just in the corner cowering, and then he just goes, hear me out, Chris. I swear I didn't want to take over your group because I was too busy building my own.
Yeah, it was such a good line. It was just the way that he went into it. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
FTR, Tully, Wardlow, Sean Spears.
I now watch AEW on Saturday mornings, which means I know what happens sort of on the show. So it's slightly it lowers it a little bit when you obviously know that it's going to be the FTR and Sean Spears reveal. But yeah, I wouldn't have seen it coming, but it does make sense. And are they going to be the Six Horsemen? You know?
Yeah, I kind of like it. I think MJF is this big as the leader, I'd say. Sean Spears is an enforcer. Wardlow is the backup, really. Not the backup, but
the muscle, the healer.
The muscle. Yeah, exactly. And then FTR is the tag team wrestlers, and Tully is the old wise owl. But yeah, I think it's just interesting to see where this goes now. It's very interesting to see where this goes, for sure. But that was AEW. Again, good 2 weeks of AEW. Nothing really missed the mark.
No, well, not much was on AEW. We're on the road to, obviously, it's St. Patrick's Day Slam tonight, and then Double or Nothing in like 8 weeks, I think, 8 or 9. So yeah, pretty soon.
Okay, that's last week's NXT. 2 seconds. I just need
this week's NXT started with. I've got all my tabs lined up in order. Yeah, Danny Burch and Owen Lorcan defeated Tim and Tom. I don't really remember it, but it's 4 guys. It's 4 guys. I don't really feel so.
Yeah, this is the NXT before, not last week, but the week before that we missed. I can't find it.
Okay,
I'll go through this episode.
Skim through it. Cool. That's all right. So I might miss out some segments because I've only got results loaded, but it's 2 weeks ago. It don't really matter. Ember Moon beat Alia quick time. Women's tag, Nia and Shayna beat Dakota and Raquel. What it was, wasn't it? It didn't feel like a big deal seeing Nia and Shayna in NXT.
No.
It really didn't. I had to remind myself halfway through the match. I was like, oh my god, this is Shayna Baszler, and also NXT alumni Nia Jax. Wow.
I forgot she was in NXT too. I forgot a lot of stuff about Nia.
Yeah. And then we had the promo from LA Knight saying he's going to change the game because it's his game. Doesn't want you to call him the GOAT to me. If you want to call him one thing that sets him apart from the rest, it's LA Knight. And then we get Cameron Grimes defeated Bronson Reed via via like an LA Knight interference.
Yeah, LA Knight with the distraction.
Bronson Reed and LA Knight first feud. I mean, surely LA Knight's got to win, but I don't really know where they're going with Bronson Reed. I'm about to say Bronson Reed surely's got to get involved somehow. Like, he needs to pick up a win eventually. Yeah, I don't know. He's such an awful LA Knight. It's not an awful man, but it's not the best, is it? No, it ain't, but I am used to it now. Yeah. But maybe that's just because he's my new guy. Look, I'm sure I'll tire on him after like 3 months, but in the moment right now, he's in a year's time, you still just blasting out LA Knight. Well, I hope so. It'll be when he goes on the main roster. And then main event, Finn Balor defeated Roderick Strong, and then we had like a massive, I think we had an undisputed era brawl at the end. Yeah, poor Roddy. I do genuinely feel so sorry for him. Yeah, because I like Strong. Just he's putting on good matches. He's still in the really on the back burner, isn't he? I don't know. He could be in a lot worse positions, though. Yeah. I'm just going to do the next. And then obviously the week after, William Regal crowned Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez as the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Yeah. So that did happen. Yeah, I mean, just use the main tag titles more. Like, they don't really need another one, but sure, whatever.
Sure,
After
and you know what?
In a month's time, I won't really care. I don't really care now.
No, same. Io Shirai defeats Toni Storm in a championship match. I don't want to say I thought it was a time. Io's had the belt for a long while now, and I would have liked to see a shock change on a random episode of NXT.
I think she's getting beat in the next feud.
Do you?
Raquel wins Io call up after Mania.
Really? Oh, God. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan because I'm scared of what will happen to Io on the main roster.
Tag team with Asuka.
Yep. It would be very similar to what happened with Kyra. And then with Raquel, I think Raquel will be a great champion, actually. And it'll work in between with her and Dakota as well. So I can look forward to that if that happens, but fucking poor Io. Pete Dunne defeat Jake Atlas.
I was just going to say, considering they've got so many guys on the roster, Pete Dunne beating Jake Atlas in less than 5 minutes, I thought was a really weird way to use TV time.
It's Pete Dunne, isn't it? I think they want to get him a couple of wins on TV.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ember and Shotzi became new champs. Yeah.
Yay. Genuinely. Well done to him, short of rain. One thing that I did kind of like, it was the way that they went into the next segment of when Shotzi and Ember went backstage celebrating thingy, and Candice and Indy were just watching on. And it's just, it was very... Yeah, so it was sort of Shotzi and Ember had come backstage and all the women were congratulating him. And then Candice and Indy were just watching from afar, just scowling. But it's like a very TV show when they pan to a different character and then it cuts to the next scene with the same character in the same position. It was like they turned the camera, it was them. And then Johnny just appears out of nowhere and just starts...
do that quite a bit.
Starts waffling about Loomis. That whole thing's great with Austin Theory and stuff. Jordan Devlin is coming to NXT next week. Yay.
Go on, Santos. Oh, Escobar, aren't we?
Just beat him up to a pulp. Xia Li defeated Kaden Carter via disqualification. Case Catanzaro tried to get some revenge, but...
It's the never-ending feud. They don't know how to book it apart from in combinations of this same match.
They're just going to keep going. It's a shame, innit? I have faith that they'll do something with Xia Li, but...
So then the next segment was a shame as well. With the... I'm not going to do my big grizzled young veteran spiel, but having Zach Gibson beat in less than 2 minutes.
It's Legado del Fantasma, I don't care.
Do you not like Legado del Fantasma?
No, I like Legado del Fantasma. I prefer him over GYV.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I really like both teams. It was all right. I'm a 205 guy. I like Legado del Fantasma.
I think Santos Escobar is a great leader. Then Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde are great wrestlers.
Yeah,
give me
and then we had I totally do. The last 205 live between in front of fans, for the last month, Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza were just in a blood feud, just facing each other repeatedly every week. And They always put on an absolute banger. So good.
Fair play to them.
But yeah, we had nonsense afterwards, didn't we, with them? MSK and Breezango.
Yeah.
Sure. Baby faces. Yeah.
And
then main event.
There were not much, was there? Yeah, and the main event.
Yeah.
Main event, Finn Balor defeats Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly returns, but with a new gear. He attacks Cole. O'Reilly pulls the era band off Cole. Cole in the ring. Balor hits a topic on Hilo, then a 1916 DDT, then a coup de grace, and then O'Reilly goes. Basically, Cole loses. O'Reilly and Cole then just get into a little bit of action. Then when Balor's left in the ring, Karrion Kross is behind him and basically says, "Give me your belt."
Yeah,
is what happens.
I'd like to see Karrion Kross in the title picture where he should be. I'm not a fan, but the way he's been built and portrayed anywhere other than the main event is just wrong.
Yeah, which is a shame.
I think Kiki Cross wins.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can't have him win. He's carrying Cross. Of course he wins.
I know, which I'm not saying it's a shame because I haven't got into Cross.
Oh, I haven't, but considering he beat Keith Lee so comfortably and he's come back and pretty much just been like an undefeated monster. Like, it's just them getting back to where they were. And
it's one of them ones, isn't it? I think you either love him or you hate him.
I'm not particularly into Balor. Like, I acknowledge he's good and all, but
I think he needs to get over to NXT UK and feud with Volta.
I totally agree.
That's where he needs to go now. Just if you can get Jordan Devlin over, get Balor back.
Yeah, do like a trade.
The problem is he doesn't live there, does he? So he lives in America. So
no, but they did book the feud, didn't they? They did do it for NXT Takeover UK Dublin, which was like meant to be like probably like a year next week.
Which is mental.
So this match should have happened like a year ago. So
Balor as the champion. Yeah, so he wasn't the champ back then as well, were?
No, he wasn't. He was. Yeah, he was just floating in like NXT, like upper card,
mid card, upper mid card.
Yeah. But that was NXT. NXT's in a good place at the minute.
Yeah, some good matches, some nice little feuds. It'll just keep on chugging on.
Yep. LA Knight.
But LA Knight, it's time for your big wrestling rundown, Simon.
Right, I've got all my tabs loaded up. Look, so I'm going to fire through things as quick as possible and skim over things because there's so much. Right, so because we're doing it on a Wednesday, with 3 episodes of Impact behind,
no,
and not much happened to be fair. Ace Austin beat Black Taurus and Chris Bay. Yeah, we had like a tag team. How will they ever get along between Finn Juice and the Good Brothers, in which they beat Reno Scum and Triple XL. Eddie Edwards beat Brian Myers with Matt Cardona, and they did like a couple cheesy lines in this because Brian Myers was backstage asking him to like throw the match and stuff.
Yeah,
and Matt Cardona was like, "No, I'm going to be the most professional referee," because Brian Myers is the most professional wrestler.
Yeah,
and then Brian Myers like tried to cheat constantly. So I think Matt Cardona just closed. Oh no, Brian Myers just clotheslined Matt Cardona. He got himself DQ. It was pretty nondescript.
Yeah.
Just firing up the next episode of Impact. So this was the go home for Sacrifice. Also, we had Chris Sabin and James Storm defeated Rohit Raju and Shearer, and they've already broken up as a tag team. They've been together for like a month. I mean, Rohit Raju and Shearer, obviously not Sabin and Storm. Yeah. Like Raju was just like constantly having a pop at him because Shearer's like big meaty man. As soon as he like sort of put his hands on Rohit Raju, he was like quite scared. It's a bit like an MJF Wardlow dynamic.
Yeah.
We got so the storyline at the moment with Trey Miguel and Sami Callihan. Basically, Sami Callihan says Trey Miguel's got no passion because he left when the Rascals left, and then he came back. And on last week's episode of Impact, the one I've just covered, Sami Callihan went to Trey McGill's training school and basically just laid out all of his students, and then took one of them to the side, who's called Sam Beale, and basically like brainwashed him. So this week, Sam Beale came to an Impact taping and came up to Trey Miguel and said, "You lack passion," and basically just like got in his head, and you can see he's been manipulated, trying to get his big shot. So Sam Beale basically forces Trey Miguel into a match. Trey taps him out with it in like under 60 seconds. And then Sami Callihan gets in the ring, just continues to beat down the student, and then Trey Miguel like saves him. So he's basically been exploited by Sami. He got too big for his boots, took an L in under a minute, and now he's probably just back to the training school.
Yeah, but you know what? He gets on Impact.
It was kind of fun. Chris Bay beat Ace Austin in a hell of a match. It was one of the best, probably TV matches I've seen in a long time. It was just going great. They went about 15-20 minutes, and then TJP came out on the stage to distract Ace Austin, and Chris Bay got the win, which I was The distraction finish was a bit frustrating, especially because it was TJP. But that was obviously just to build to the sacrifice match.
Yeah, and in TJP.
In the main event, you ready for this monstrous main event?
Go on.
ODB defeated Susan.
That was the main event of the go-home show.
It wasn't, because then they had Rich Swann and Moose come out, and Scott Jamal was like, "Oh yeah," and the winner of the match faces Kenny Omega at Rebellion.
Okay,
but it was the main event match.
Yeah.
So,
that's just disappointing,
right.
isn't it?
Impact Wrestling Sacrifice. So yeah, there were 9 matches. Opening match: Black Taurus and Crazy Steve as Decay beat Reno Scum, Shaw. Right, this next match were a bit weird because it was Caleb with a K and Tennille Dashwood defeated Havoc and Nevaeh. But Caleb with a K is like a comedy character, and he wrestles with like a neck brace on and stuff. And he and Tennille are beating like an established team in Havoc and Nevaeh.
Yeah. Wait, it wasn't like in the gender match. There wasn't a guy on the other side.
No, it was because he's not a proper wrestler. He's a comedy guy, so they could do it. Then it was Violent by Design representatives Dina and the Confused Cowboy defeated Chris Sabin and James Storm. I'll tell you what, Joe Doring in this, what a showing! He could be like a monster. He's like 6'4", 6'5". Got a great look, got a great mustache, but they've just not really utilised him.
I wish.
Sabin and Storm.
That is.
Yeah, Sabin and Storm are all right. It's not the Motor City Machine Guns, is it? But it's never going to be.
No, you're never going to get the Motor City Machine Guns. Like, you're never going to replicate them ever.
It's just good seeing James Storm back. Like, it's James Storm in it. I would say Impact Legend, but TNA. Eddie Edwards defeated Brian Myers in that grudge match. Sure. And then it was titles time. So, Knockouts tag titles, Fire and Flavor defeated Jazz and Jordan Grace. I don't get Jazz.
Well, she's just an old wrestler, isn't she?
I know, but like, I'm sure it's Jordan Grace's probably directive or like wish that she probably wants to team with Jazz. But
yeah,
I feel like she could be doing something else, but it doesn't really matter. New champion in the X division, Ace Austin defeated TJP.
Thank God.
Really clean. So go on Ace Austin. So he's now the Super, the Super X Cup holder and the X Division champion. And he's got Madman Fulton with him. So they're positioning him sort of really strong. Yeah, I don't know where TJP goes from here. To be fair, he does feel a bit dead in the water. I don't know whether that's because I've sort of realised his Twitter stuff, but it really does feel like there's not.
Do you know, like people say, you got to separate the character from the person? Not when it's like TJP. Do you know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. It is difficult. We had Deonna Purrazzo beat ODB. I don't know whether ODB signed with the company full time.
Yeah, it was
a bit of a filler title match, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then we had the big shock, which was Finn Juice defeating the Good Brothers. And of course they would. New Japan aren't going to send the guys over to job.
Now the question is, do they take the belts over?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to think, like, I wonder whether they'll reference it if, like, when like Gallows and Anderson show up on like AEW this week, and they've lost the titles. Will they then say on AEW, oh yeah, like David Finlay and Juice Robinson, and then it's just this big
New Japan, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the feud itself has been really good and it's been entertaining, which is probably a good sign in terms of more like Japan guys coming over.
Yeah, 100%.
It's been really successful.
We already got Kenta. I can definitely see I can definitely see more New Japan guys coming over, is what I'm trying to say.
As I said, I don't know what happens now in terms of like, will the who faces it? Because if they're in Japan, like, what happens to the Impact Tag Division? We'll see.
Yeah, unless if they're flying over to if they're having to travel over all the time, maybe it's a thing of they're staying over in England in America for a while, so they're not and they can't travel back. I don't know what the traveling restrictions are like in Japan and America.
in David Finlay in the New Japan Cup quarterfinals, though. I mean, I don't know whether that's all been pre-taped, but
I don't know.
I would be surprised. But obviously, I don't know. And then the main event was title unification match between Rich Swan's Impact World Title and Moose's fake TNA World Title that I bought off eBay.
Big somehow still got a title shot.
Jake something got the title shot. It had like one defense. Rich Swann got the win. Hell of a match. He got it with like a jackknife roll up. So Moose wasn't like properly beaten. Rich Swann was just too like quick and crafty. For me though, the finish should have came. There was an insane spot where they're both on like the top turnbuckle, and Moose has Rich Swann up for like a fall away slam. And he does a moonsault, but with Rich Swann in like a body slam position.
Oh Jesus!
So it's just like it was just like a moonsault fall away slam. It was insane, and Rich Swann kicked out.
I bet they're both incredible wrestlers.
It was awesome.
So I'm glad Swann has really had a chance to shine after everything that happened with his exit. It is genuinely nice to see him in a prominent position.
I mean, he's getting that big match with Kenny Omega at Rebellion. You know what a showcase that is. Part of me wanted Moose to win because the idea of Moose in AEW, I've said it before, and Moose and Kenny, he's good, 100%. But the story's there because Kenny Omega pinned Rich Swann at Hard to Kill, the last pay-per-view, and it's face heel, like the dynamic just works. And I'm not gonna. That was sacrifice. It was a good show. I'm not gonna go over last night's Impact purely for the reason that I've not seen it yet.
That's fine then. That's fine.
So I'll do it next week. But right, so the next Impact Plus special is Hardcore Justice on April 10th. Do you know what else is happening April 10th?
Hold up. Let me get the calendar out. That is WrestleMania Day 1.
Yep. Impact's non-pay-per-view Impact Plus special is going head-to-head with WrestleMania Night 1.
Go on, Impact.
What a company. What a company.
The balls. I mean, in fairness, that WrestleMania week, because I think we've got a takeover. Takeover's 2 nights. So it's Wednesday the 7th and Thursday the 8th. Then on Friday the 9th, it's Hall of Fame with 2020 and 2021 class. And then on Saturday, it's Day 1 and Impact. And then Sunday, it's Day 2. Jesus Christ.
Ridiculous. And obviously, I'm going to be watching all the other shows that are going on. Yeah,
because it's WrestleMania weekend, really.
I think it's Easter holidays, which is good. But even so.
I'm trying to think.
Right, yeah. So next up on the list of everything else, I'm not going to run through all the results because there were 40 matches, but it was just a summary, if you know. Dark Elevation. Notable spots were Danny Limelight was in the opening match, and I've sort of been championing Danny Limelight for quite a while now. The Radioactive Pappy, they're calling him. So, yeah, he's good, isn't he? Yes, right. I wouldn't normally say this, but we had Matt and Mike Seidel defeated two jobbers. One of them was in the NWA. But then later on in the night, Kenny Omega had like an issue with Matt Seidel. And booked Matt Seidel in a singles match with Michael Nakazawa.
Oh, go on, Naka.
Which Matt Seidel won easily. But then Kenny Omega still wasn't through. And then basically came out and was like, in his Kenny Omega, like proper cheesy promo voice, he was like, hi, Matt Seidel, we're going to have a singles match right now. Ring the bell. And like the bell never rang. And he just hit like a one-winged angel and counted his own pinfall. You know, to sort of like feel his own.
It's Kenny Omega stuff.
Yeah.
Heel Kenny Omega.
It wasn't an official match. And that's when Tony Khan came out and cut that promo looking like he was going to sneeze the entire way through it. Have you seen it?
Yeah. I like Tony, though. I do.
It's not going to be a regular thing. It was just a bit of fun on the first episode of a new show.
I just like that he is that kid whose parents had a lot of money, and so he can just do whatever he wants. And so all of AEW is basically is a big wrestling fan.
I just love to see that. I just love to know what he gets up to. Like in back end of January, on one phone or computer, is he like trying to bring in Paul White, and then on the other, he's just in talks with Bordeaux to sign Josh Madger, and he's just confusing the two. And
that's the thing.
He'll get the graphics confused, and Josh Madger is all elite, and Paul White signs the Fulham.
Well, that's the thing, because also he works for Jacksonville Jaguars. I like to imagine that at his desk, he's got one TV screen that's got Premier League on, he's got one TV screen that's got NFL on, and one that's got TNT, and he's just darting his way through all of them. It's like it was free agency currently.
Except it's not TNT. It's like early 90s Japanese deathmatch.
Yeah, he's just like the most niche kind of wrestling.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's been NFL free agency, so he's surely going to be busy like helping the Jags out. Surely.
Probably. In fact,
it just doesn't. It's just his dad owns them, but I think what is he? He's got like a specific role.
Yeah. The other notable things were Powerhouse Hobbs has got a new theme, which is pretty good. We had like the Blade and the Butcher and Blade's new sort of their first match under the guidance of Matt Hardy. Which was all right. They got a win. Main event, Riho beat Makito, which is probably Makito's final. Final bit. And look, they did a cool little bit during the song and stuff, where like they pan to the crowd and the crowd are dancing, and then they cut to the commentary desk and like. Tony Schiavone's bobbing his head and Paul White's just kind of dancing at the table, which is really good. Paul White was so happy to be there. You're all right. He was quite good. He's gone down the Nigel McGuinness route of commentary, in the sense that it's all about what moves do to the body, because he's talking from personal experience. When Nigel McGuinness is on about, oh yes, and it stretches and tears this tendon, and like Paul White talking about how the chops, they take the technical sort.
Yeah, 100%. I think
he's good. Him and Tony have got commentary.
It's what they talked about. I think Big Show talked about it when he talked to Renee Young and stuff, and I think Christian did as well, just saying it's nice to have a bit of freedom. And that's not taken away from WWE, just in terms of he's allowed to do stuff. And so he's obviously going to be happy. It's nice to see.
Yeah. If I'm honest, I don't see it. Felt like a bit of an upgrade from Dark, but I thought, if I'm honest, it didn't feel like an entirely necessary show. Like I could probably do without another 2 hours of Dynamite at AEW. I know no one's forcing me to watch it, but
no.
We'll see how it turns out.
I suppose it's only the first week, so.
Yeah. I mean, after this, I'm probably going to watch Dark, to be honest. But after this, so right, New Japan Strong. So they had the new beginning, night 1. Main event, El Phantasmo defeated Leo Rush. It was El Phantasmo versus Leo Rush. They're very good at what they do. Well done, gents.
I'm fully behind Leo Rush now.
Yeah, I love Leo, but like El Phantasmo's like I think like a proper New Japan Strong guy, especially Bullet Club and all.
Yeah.
So, and then on night 2, I think we all know what happened on night 2. Yeah, so there were 2 matches that I wasn't happy with. So basically, Team Filthy, the Radioactive Pappy and the Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson, they've been bullying Ren Narita because he's like...
Oh, not Ren!
He's just like a young boy on excursion.
Is he still a young boy? I feel like he's been a young boy just for a while.
Yeah, I think he is. But this was the grudge match. This was Ren Narita versus the Dirty Daddy. And Ren Narita got a win by tap out in less than 8 minutes. So, look, it was the big babyface overcoming the odds. But look, man, I'm never going to be happy to see my boy Chris Dickinson take the L.
God,
can't lie, that one did sour me slightly. But I thought he'd like that with Ren Narita. And then main event, great. John, Moxley, and Kenta.
Jesus, Jesus, was that this week? Yeah. Fuck hell.
That was on.
Wow.
That was on Saturday morning's New Japan Strong, and Mox got the win. It was just really hard hitting. I mean, I'd already seen it in terms of the Dynamite tag match, but it was still a hell of a match. Just 2 big stars.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
fair play to him.
New Japan Strong's really good. Right, yeah, rattling through them, reeling them off. Major League Wrestling, arguably my new favourite hour of TV. I think I said this last time. So we had the parks, El Hio Park and LA Park.
Yeah,
LA Park, man. Yeah, they defended the tag titles against Contra Unit, which is Davari and bloody Simon Gotch. Love seeing Simon Gotch.
Which one? Okay, it's Davari. Okay, yeah, that one. That Davari.
Not 205 Live.
Yeah.
Area, Sean.
Sure, Davari.
Calvin Tankman defeated Laredo Kid. Have you ever seen Calvin Tankman?
No, I've heard of Laredo Kid.
Okay, right. So yeah, Calvin Tankman is like heavyweight hustle. He's like 300 pounds or so, but he's like really agile.
Jesus.
I'm not saying it just by like. I'm not doing this solely based on race, but he reminds me of Keith Lee.
Okay. I can understand.
And he got a sub 7-minute win over Laredo Kid, which I was amazed at because, like, although Laredo Kid isn't a champion in AAA anymore, when he faced Kenny Omega at Triple Mania, the guy kicked out of the One Winged Angel at 3.5. Like, he likes to keep himself looking strong.
And not by nobody, but
yeah, which was surprising. And then the main event, we had an MLW World Heavyweight title match, which was Jacob Fatu defeating Jordan Oliver. Again, do you know much about Jordan Oliver?
No, I know the other guy.
Okay.
I know
Jacob Fatu. Yeah. Jordan Oliver, I think, is like a really young, sort of quite raw wrestler. But I feel like once he puts a bit of size on and fills out, the kid's going to be a megastar. I don't know what it is about him because he's just like probably sub 200 pounds. But there's something about him. He pretty good promo as well. So that was MLW. The next episode of MLW. Main event was an match for the National Openweight title. So you know Alexander Hammerstone. Alex Hammerstone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's got one of my favourite finishes at the moment. He beat LA Park, Daddy Park, in the main event. About 10 minutes. LA Park looks like, I feel like he just stumbles around the ring.
Well, he's old, isn't he?
Just funny, like, because Alexander Hammerstone's like chiseled like out of granite. Got one of the best finishes in the game. He's just there with this 50-year-old, not in the best condition Mexican who's just covered in like a suit from head to toe. He's sold like WCW.
Yeah. I don't. There is so much wrestling going on that these guys. I'm just like, who is these people? You've got. It's great though because you've got such a wealth of knowledge all over the park.
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to keep on top because one day or another they're just going to pop up on AEW Dark and you'll be like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah. So, right. Mine, yours, and everyone's favourite show, 205 Live.
Yeah.
Aria Davari and Tony Nese defeated August Gray and Jake Atlas. Cool. And then in the main event, I spoke to you about this last week, but Mansoor continued his winning streak against Kurt Stallion. Yeah, they've done. So there were a bit of story behind this because they've been doing like sort of. They were in a tag team, I think, the week before, and then they were just like, "Oh yeah, I reckon I could beat you. Oh yeah, I reckon I could beat you. Let's have a match then." And it was like babyface respect, but also a bit of tension, that kind of thing. Yeah. The following week of 205 Live, they were teaming up again, which was a bit strange. So Mansoor's winning streak continues this time against Bolly Rise. The Bollywood Boys.
Just the Bollywood. No Rise.
No, well, Ever Rise were on commentary this time. Basically just bullying Vic Joseph.
It's not hard. Because I really like Vic. Yeah. Wait, is Nigel McGuinness on 205?
Yeah.
Because, right, obviously I don't watch 205 because I don't have that much interest to be honest with you. But, yeah, I was like, where's Nigel gone? Do you know, like, he was off, he got removed from NXT, which I thought was such a shame because I really like Nigel. So I thought I wondered where he'd gone. At least he's on 205.
Oh, no. He's on UK and 205.
And you were in UK, so I presumed he'd gone back.
Yeah. And in the main event, we had August Gray beat Aria Davari. Yeah, sure, whatever. The new guys, they tend to put the new guys over on 205. I think August Gray is probably next in line for a title shot at Santos Escobar after Jordan Devlin. He's got as many wins now as Kurt Stallion did probably when he had his chance. So Yeah, sure. Like
Go on.
205, it just exists in its own little world. Like Santos Escobar never appears on it. It's just the same 10 guys just doing the thing, and it's good.
Fair point, because them wrestlers can look back and say, "Look what we effing did. We not carried 205 live, but we were the only people on 205 giving a shit."
Yeah, it's totally unconsequential.
Yeah,
but it's an easy way to pass 25 minutes. Right, I got two more different companies, 4 shows. Let's go.
We go again.
Ring of Honor. Dalton Castle beat Josh the Goods Woods in a pure wrestling match. I like the pure style. It's different. It's what it is. And then I think in the main event we had a number 1 contenders match for the world title, and the winner faces Roosh at the 19th anniversary show. So it was a 4-way between Jay Briscoe, EC3, Matt Taven, and Jay Lethal. Who do you think won?
Matt Taven.
No, he took the pin to Jay Lethal, which I was slightly surprised about, because I really like Matt Taven, and I really like
Matt Taven's been great for a couple of years with the Kingdom as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like when he got pinned by Lethal, I like Jay Lethal, but he's been around a long time, especially because like EC3's the new guy on the block, and he's coming with a lot of momentum, and I feel like they've not really capitalized on it. Like who nowadays do you hear talking about EC3? Because he's not in Impact. He had that feud with Moose where he lost, and then just left.
Then it went, yeah.
It was a bit weird. And then on the most recent episode, there really wasn't that much. In the main event, Flamita beat Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon's been kicked out of the pure division because he doesn't obey the rules. That's pretty much that.
Right, what's going on with Flip Gordon? Because obviously all I know about Flip Gordon was his time when on being the Elite. Is he a heel now?
Oh yeah, he's a heel. He's just floating around in the TV title mix. He's basically that he's the only guy in Ring of Honor who doesn't do the Code of Honor handshake before a match. Okay. So, like other guys will do it, but they'll do it reluctantly. You know, like they'll slap the hand or something with a bit of personality. Yeah. Flip Gordon just doesn't do it because he's just a bad guy. I don't know. There's not that much.
Yeah, Flip Gordon.
And everyone's favourite, save the best till last. Main event.
Come on, main event.
So,
surprises this
main
week.
event. I'll tell you what, this episode looks like a hell of a card. Wow. So, look, the win streak rolls on. Mansoor and Ricochet. Teaming. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Mansoor had beaten Ricochet.
Oh, no.
I'm about to say, what a win.
Honestly, if they put that tag team on Raw next week, I would have 0 complaints. Maybe that's just me being strange. They defeated Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak, who couldn't be less dead in the water. No, any more dead in the water if they tried. And then in the main event, it's that big Dijak push. It's Mace and T-Bar beat Lucha House Party. Oh, poor Lucha House Party.
But when you come up against T-Mace, no one is going to win.
Honestly, an episode of main event that has T-Bar and Mansoor on it. Never mind picking up wins. That's fine by me.
T-Mace.
My guys, T-Mace. Will T-Mace be on this episode? No, they won't. So on the most recent main event taping, the final bit of the rundown. Right, Lindsay Dorado defeated Akira Tozawa, so evidently that loss as part of Lucha House Party just didn't matter. He's evolved from 205 Humberto into real jacked Humberto. He defeated Angel Garza.
Which I don't want him to be an Angel because Angel's great, but fuck, he's bulked up. He's clearly gone to Vince and said, "I'll get it big if you put me on bigger shows."
The thing is, we always joke about how Humberto is like the mainstay of main event, and I took this an episode. I've noticed he's getting a bit bigger, but he's not looked anywhere near as big as he looked in that picture. So I'm looking forward to when I watch this episode because I'll be specifically looking to see if he's put on the meat.
Because that image I showed you he looks massive.
Get that guy back on. back on Raw. But yeah, so I don't like that because usually for guys not on TV, they might be on main event. Keith Lee wasn't on either episode of main event.
I
He has
think
been
Keith
on
Lee
before.
is
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know, right? I mean, neither was Andrade. Andrade's not. I mean, let's face it, if Andrade was on main event, we'd go, ugh, Andrade on main event, what a waste. But at least it'd be better than nothing. I'd love to know
Andrade as well.
I'd love to know whether if SmackDown had their own version of main event, or if Aleister Black was on Raw, whether he'd be on main event as like lower card guy, or whether he'd just be totally out of favour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the guys on main event here, you know, Lindsay, Akira, Carrillo, and Garza, they're not sitting in catering. This is just their position on the card.
Yeah.
Whereas it's more concerned, like even Ricochet, he's still on TV. Whereas guys like Keith Lee and Andrade just aren't anywhere to
Keith Lee, Andrade, and Aleister Black. How you don't have anything for all three of them is just embarrassing.
If you wanted to be super nitpicky, I guess you could put guys like Ricochet into that category, but it doesn't count because he's still wrestling. He's just low on the card. But I totally agree. I apologise, but I've missed out NXT UK.
It's fine. It's fine. You had a lot to go through.
NXT UK. Right, Ilya Dragunov beat Sam Grandwell. Ilya Dragunov is currently he's in a trance that he basically just destroys people, and then after he's beat them up after the match, he then apologises and realises what he's done.
Okay,
it's fine. He's trance Ilya is what I call him. Main event in the main event, Kaylee Ray beat Meiko Satomura. So,
wow! I
don't know where Meiko Satomura goes.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
I don't know where she goes from here because she's lost for the title in a second match. I know Sasha Banks really wants to wrestle Kaylee Ray, doesn't she?
Yeah, but again, it's about getting over. Because the problem is, if Sasha wants to, she would have to come over here, quarantine for 14 days, and then wrestle.
Send Kaylee Ray over at some point.
You probably don't need to quarantine if you're going to there. Because it's America, they don't care anymore. Well, Simon, thank you.
I've one more episode, and then that is it.
Oh, that's fine.
I will take a break. But this week's episode of NXT UK, or last week's, was actually pretty there was a lot happened on it. So it opened with Tyler Bate beating Dave Mastiff in a British rounds match. Mm-hmm. It's all right. Tyler Bate won, but I feel like he's not really anywhere near the title scene, and he's not where
he was when he was having that takeover style match.
He's not going back to full fat NXT anytime soon. But he's Tyler Bate. You know, he's a star. Look how good he is.
He's still so young.
Oh, I know.
How old is he? 23 still now? Is he younger than Tyler Bate?
Like that. He is insane.
24.
Have you seen Parker Boudreaux claimed that he was the youngest wrestler in WWE, and then Nathan Fraser was like, "Yeah, what about me?"
Yeah, is that Ben? Is that Ben Parker? Is it Ben Parker?
Ben Carter.
Ben Carter. There we go. Yeah.
See, I called him Nathan Fraser by his proper name.
You know what? It's not actually awful.
No, it's all right. After that, with the debut of Tio Man. So, who is Tio Man? He's Lucky Kid from WXW.
Oh, wait, what? It's called Tio Man.
Teoman. Tio Man or Tio Man.
Hold up, I'm having to look at this.
And he beat Danny Jones in 3 minutes. And his gimmick basically is he grew up on the meanest streets of Berlin, and he points to his eye because that's his evil eye. I don't get it. I've seen a Lucky Kid match, and I've watched Lucky Kid wrestle in person. I really like him. I don't get the Tio Man stuff. I don't think it's a great name either.
Tio Man. Oh, there we go. I found his Twitter. Babo Tio Man. He's got a good. Maybe it's a good look. It's a really good.
Yeah, he has. Got nice gear.
But
yeah, it's a bit odd, but we'll see where it goes. They're not putting him in the main event immediately. So
okay, that's fine.
After that, we had Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams beat South Wales subculture, but the story here is that Kenny Williams is like cheating to win and being a bit dirty, feet on the ropes, that kind of thing. And Amir Jordan just wants to win properly. So
I like Amir Jordan.
I like Amir Jordan, but of course I am. Your nan's favourite wrestler, the banger of bad boy. So
your nan's favourite wrestler is incredible.
Which your nan's favourite wrestler? It is, isn't it? It's really good. So I don't know where that story's going, but I think they're probably next in line for a shot at the tag titles against Pretty Deadly. And then in the main event, so in this show, we had a monstrous main event. A main event even bigger than ODB versus Susan. Right, so we had the mixed tag team match of Jack Stars and Piper Niven versus Ginny and Joe Connors.
And Joseph Connors.
Yeah, Stars and Niven picked up the win. It was just fun. I think it was the first ever mixed tag team match in NXT UK, and that's what they kind of billed it as. Yeah, it was. I don't know what's coming up on this week's show, but they're putting quite a lot of effort into NXT UK, and I'd say it's better now than probably what it was before pandemic, and I think more people are probably watching.
Yeah.
So,
tell you what, though, there's one thing in NXT UK that I love. It's Pretty Deadly. There's something about them. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'm fans of these cocky heels all the time, but there's something about Pretty Deadly where I'm like, I like these guys. I like them. Okay.
It's a bit like what I've got with Jordan Oliver. I can't put my finger on what it is that's good about him, but there's something.
There is just, yeah.
I mean, I know I've got a lot of guys like Jordan Oliver because I've got all my New Japan guys as well, like Chris Dickinson, and who else did I like? Was it JR Kratos and Bateman? There's quite a lot of names. The talent's out there. There's so much for any company to pick up.
Yeah,
awesome.
But thank you very much for your rundown. That was so much wrestling.
I'm gonna take a quick break.
I'll
will never be as long as that again, hopefully. Apart from on WrestleMania weekend.
WrestleMania weekend is going to be, it's going to be busy. But I'll run through SmackDown. We'll do last week. So, HK Fist with a passionate Daniel Bryan just cut a promo on each other, more words. Rey Mysterio, Dominic, and the Street Profits won an 8-team tag team match against the heel team of Otis, Chad Gable, Dolphy Ziggs, and Robert Roode. Montez picks up the win there. Cesaro defeats Murphy by disqualification after Seth Rollins sneaks in and attacks Cesaro. Looks like we get a Cesaro-Seth feud. Natalya and Tamina defeat Sasha Banks and Belair, obviously both these. And now it's basically Reginald is Nia's sugar daddy. Now she's paying him to just do all these stuff for her. Sure, why not? Biggie defeated Sami Zayn in the Intercontinental Champion match. Biggie defeats him quite convincingly, I'd say. But then after the match, Apollo Crews comes out and lays waste to Biggie, sort of, and says, basically, I'm charged to a match. Biggie accepts it on a WWE Network exclusive. So that's going to be at Fastlane. And then Universal title contract signing descended chaos. Edge to battle Jey Uso next week to become the special enforcer. So when Roman Reigns came down, Bryan was undeserving of a Universal Championship match at WWE Fastlane. Bryan managed to go to the head of the table to sign the contract as he saw Jey Uso and suggested to be named special enforcer. He wasn't Brian Myers. It would. Adam Pearce made the contest official. So it's Jey Uso versus Edge this Friday. If Edge wins, he becomes a special enforcer in the match. Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Is that the end of that SmackDown?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just looking for anything of note. There is something. Oh yeah, it was just that I feel a bit bad for Murphy, but I say it every week.
Yeah, Seb. You know what? Put him in a tag team with Mansoor so we can just get wins.
Murphy, Ricochet, Mansoor faction.
What would they be called?
Mansoor. I don't know how to say it. Mansoor.
MRM. Like Eminem, but with an R. I don't know.
Mansoor, Ricochet, Murphy. MRM. They should put him with Thorne and Vink because they were stars of Raw this time last year. Not Vink, Tony Modler.
In fairness, but they just give him a really racist gimmick. You know that it's Vince.
They won't though, because they've got that Saudi
If it was Murphy, Tony Modra, and Shane Thorne, they'd be called the Australian Boys or something, wouldn't they?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. He's not thought. Do you ever forget that? What's his name? Slapjack is Shane Thorne.
No.
Like, do you look at him now and go, "Oh, it's just Slapjack," and then you go, "Oh yeah, that's Shane Thorne."
In the back of my head, I always know it's Shane Thorne.
Do you? I always know T-Bar's T-Bar because look at him. But with Slapjack, I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's him," because he looks so small.
Yeah, true. And it's a very different. I just can't believe that because we are nearly a year on. A year on, we were having like Deonna Purrazzo was wrestling on these like no crowd shows.
And now, what a star she is! She was always a star back in NXT. I don't
understand how they fucked her up.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the wrestling landscape is so different now. Like at WrestleMania, bloody like imagine now the Good Brothers in a segment with the Undertaker.
Mental, innit? Like if you just look, if we look at March 2020, and then we'll look at a Raw. So just type in Raw.
Right, and just I know we're going to come on to it on this show, but it feels right to say it now. So on the SmackDown that happened on Friday, Otis and Dolph Ziggler were on the same team without explanation.
Yeah,
they were fighting over a woman's love at WrestleMania less than 12 years ago. Explain it, please.
You can.
I mean, I know they've totally dropped. Like the Otis Mandy Rose thing. Obviously, they're on different brands, but
By the way, sorry, I'm just looking. Genuinely, on March 2020, this was the 16th. Edge challenged Randy Orton to a last man standing match at Mania. The Undertaker and AJ Styles signed their WrestleMania contract. Rey Mysterio defeated the United States champion Andrade. Becky addressed Shayna Baszler. Kevin challenged Seth to a match, and Stone Cold Steve Austin celebrated 316 Day. Like, what the?
What?
We've just really gone downhill, haven't we?
I love those no crowd shows. I don't know whether it's weird nostalgia because it was so different. I almost think I prefer them to the Thunderdome.
I prefer it without the Thunderdome. Look at.
I think I do. It's really weird. I don't know whether it's because I watch so much like you look at Impact, you look at Major League Wrestling, and you look at Ring of Honor and New Japan Strong. They all do it without any fans. It's just a ring and silence and the commentary. And it's really, I just really like it.
There's something about looking at the Thunderdome now and seeing it as a all entirely properly produced show, whereas before it seemed very organic and raw.
Yeah, that's what I like. I like the raw feel of it, but I keep thinking, God, the Thunderdome's naff. Is this just what I need to get used to? And then did you see what the WWE on Fox Twitter account put on where they were like, these iconic moments of history set in the Thunderdome? And it was like Hogan and The Rock staring off at WrestleMania 18 in front of the Thunderdome. And I was like, oh my God, could you imagine? You know, like Bret Hart with the sharpshooter on Stone Cold with the blood pouring down his face just in the Thunderdome.
The Miss Elizabeth being lifted up in front of the Thunderdome.
You know, just all... I mean, it's one thing to think of the iconic moments, but they did such a good Photoshop job, and I was like, oh my days, like, this I feel... It made me feel a lot of sympathy for the guys working in it.
100%.
Because it's just normal at this point, but God, it's so strange.
When the crowds come back, it'll make me realise how much them wrestlers had to really overperform.
As I said, I was just watching that Fastlane thing, and it felt really big. Also, they just showed the match from 2019. Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Mustafa Ali. And I went, oh, poor Mustafa.
Oh,
what a decline. I mean, Bryan. I mean, that was for the Daniel Bryan's wooden title,
which was incredible.
And now he's jobbing to Riddle.
A replica of that as well.
Yeah. Now he's jobbing to Riddle on Raw whilst bloody the big stiff idiot like his T-Bar struggles to get hold of Riddle, even though he has like a 5-second head start. Have you seen that?
T-Bar?
I love that. I'm solely talking about the character T-Bar.
So, mate. Love you, Madden.
Smackdown.
Raw. Drew McIntyre.
Oh, have you done both SmackDowns?
I only did the last episode of SmackDown.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing the one before. The biggest thing happened this was Biggie, Apollo's happening at Fastlane.
Oh, we've not had any chance to talk about Apollo's Nigeria character.
We haven't actually, so you know what, we can do it now just because why not? So last week, the week previous, Apollo Crews comes out and having a spear, and you think, okay. And then he starts cutting his promo in a Nigerian accent. Now, I'm not one to judge. Embrace your heritage. And he says that I've been holding this accent. I'm not going to do the accent. I've been holding this accent in. I've been putting on one for all of you, basically. And you know what? Fair play. I'd like it if the whole thing was how when he came over here, he had to put on this American accent so he felt like he could get further in this company. But now he's realised that no matter what he does, it doesn't matter. So he wants to go back to it. But don't give him a spear because, you know what I mean, guys? Black Panther. Like, there is...
Well, apparently, people like in Nigeria, they have guns and stuff. Like, the character Apollo's portraying, they'd have guns, but obviously they can't do that. So I think they've just gone with a spear for the next closest thing. But it does look a little bit tribal. I really like the character. I don't mind the accent. We've been craving for Apollo to have something for so long.
Yeah,
we've seen how this kind of thing pans out with WWE. I don't know what the longevity is. Do you believe that by the end of 2021, Apollo will be in the same position on the card with the same gimmick, or will he now just be a comedy guy backstage with his accent?
I don't think he'll be in the same position. I do feel like he will have a very similar gimmick. I think they'll drop the accent. But I still feel like he might. No.
What did you meant to the guys behind him? Because one of them was Destroy from NXT.
Was it Desmond Troy?
It was Destroy.
Jesus Christ! I didn't even know.
And the other one was like a new signing. Oh, have you seen from 2 weeks ago when Sami Zayn beat up his cameraman? The cameraman was Blake Christian.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was Impact Wrestling and GCW's and New Japan Strong's finest, Blake Christian. So he's only been on the book for about a month and he's already on SmackDown.
Bless him. Bless him. Just say bless him. Yeah, sure. I think he's SmackDown and it's an Apollo Crews. There's not much to say. I don't think it's lasting, but you. We've also had 4 confirmed matches for Mania. We've got Reigns versus Edge, Sasha Bianca, Lashley, Drew, and then obviously the one that happened on Raw, which we'll talk about, the New Day versus AJ and Omos for the belts. We had Drew McIntyre defeating The Miz. Sure, why not?
Hang on, wait. Are you skimming over last week's Raw where we crowned a new WWE champion?
Did we?
And Slapjack in the singles match. Yeah, you've gone straight into this week's Raw.
Let me try and find. I can't find last week's Raw. Hold up. You talk. I'll find it. Here we go.
Okay.
March the 8th. Bobby Lashley defeats The Miz in a WWE Championship rematch. Drew McIntyre comes out and basically says, "I want to be the next challenger." Shane McMahon ridiculed Braun Strowman. I can't be doing that.
Right, honestly, this week's segment will come on with my days.
Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, no disqualification match, ended in a no contest.
Right.
How?
Meaty men slapping meat, but Drew's put this one to bed. Why are we having another match at Fastlane?
I don't know. Well, because I don't understand it. They obviously won that Drew Mania moment. Have you also seen they want 45,000 fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's all right to give him the Mania moment, but he don't need 20 matches against Sheamus to get there.
I know. Also, I don't like the no disqualification match and a no contest because they both hit each other with steel chairs.
Oh my God, I didn't even realise that.
The steel steps, yeah.
It's
awful, isn't it? Xavier Woods defeats the Raw Tag Team Champion, Shelton Benjamin. I'm sure that'll lead into something next week. Riddle defeated Slapjack, unfortunately. Fly high Slapjack. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeated Naomi and Lana in a Tag Team Championship match. Reginald had come out there.
Oh, yeah. Ray. I've got to say, I did find the segment with Nia Jax and Reginald funny.
Same.
Where they go clothes shopping. But I am in absolutely no doubt that in 2 weeks' time I'll be like, oh, God.
Oh, 100%.
Because Reginald grew tired early. And now that he's paired with Nia Jax,
oh,
God,
he's going to get boring real quick.
But what happened in the main event? We had a WrestleMania caliber match, as Tom Phillips was so keen to tell us. Yes, Tom. Of course, it was a WrestleMania caliber match. It literally happened at WrestleMania. I hate how they call everything WrestleMania caliber because A, it devalues stuff at WrestleMania, and B, it literally happened.
And well, do you want me to read what they've got here? Both superstars fought tooth and nail throughout the WrestleMania caliber matchup.
Oh my God, they've put it there as well.
Yeah.
AJ Styles won.
Alexa appeared on the Titantron with a Jack-in-the-Box toy. Then she lit a match. She blew it out. Flame shot from the square circle. And the black substance once again spewed from Orton's mouth. And then AJ hits a phenomenal forearm for the win.
Sure.
I thought you said show off then. What show off from Alexa?
Sure. So they don't know how to book this story.
They need the feed. They need Fiend's intelligence. They need Bray's intelligence back.
Soldier Boy and his extended vocabulary have definitely had something to say about it.
Oh, he's great, but I just love Soldier Boy. I love Orton
what Randy Orton is doing is BS, but those John Cena and Stone Cold, that's the real wrestling right there. You tell him, Soldier.
Oh, please, WrestleMania. Just abandon all the Fiend and Alexa and Orton stuff. Soldier Boy versus Randy Orton. Book it, Vince.
Have you seen Logan Paul quote tweeted a WWE tweet and was like, "We'll see."
Oh God. Well, I know that someone has basically said, I've got more followers. This is going to get more hits than Logan Paul.
Yeah, Sami Zayn was saying it to Kevin Owens. He was like, "This documentary is going to get Logan Paul numbers."
Which
apparently that was just a random line and they're not working together.
Which is fair enough. Like Logan Paul does get good numbers. Maybe not the best YouTuber to choose, just because of the previous. Now he has reformed himself. I think the content he's producing is very good. But if you're WWE, do one Google on Logan Paul, and it'll come up with the whole Forest thing.
I reckon Sammy probably wrote it, to be honest.
Probably did.
I think it was just a throwaway line from a delusional heel.
Exactly. I don't blame him as well.
It wasn't like when Angel Garza got tricked into going into a room that he thought had Cardi B and only to find the boogeyman eating worms.
You know what? You can't blame the man. You can't blame Angel Garza. He just wanted to meet Cardi B.
Of course he did. I miss Angel Garza trying to get it on with the cameraman or woman.
Tried to get it on with everyone. You had Charlie, you had Cardi B, you had Demi Burnett.
Right, Charlie Caruso wasn't on Raw again this week. I don't like the look of this.
Well, wait. I know it's Kayla.
I think she might be full time at ESPN.
Fair play to her. Get out.
I mean, she's really good. But
she's very talented.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Kevin Patrick, but no.
Well, I knew they hired that new guy, and I remember you telling me about him. So
yeah,
she's unfortunately. I think Charlie's gone into bigger and better things.
Fair play. Then we have Raw this week. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Drew versus The Miz. I push my fingers into my eyes.
I push my fingers into my eyes. What a song! That's sorry. Drew defeats The Miz. Who gives a shit anymore?
I've actually come to the conclusion that I'm going to stop watching Raw. Like,
just do it. Just do it.
I actually dread it.
And it's mental, and it's just there's something about it, and I don't know whether it's repetition is what it is. I know what it is.
No, the issue is, Lana and Naomi getting beat for the titles, and then just still in the mix a week 100%.
After. Yeah. What I did like was before this match, they were backstage having a chat about, we're going to beat you tonight anyway. Which, you know what, I didn't mind. This match wasn't like these two really. It's just more of like, we want to get a win under our belt. Fair play. It's just truth. He's got his days confused, Danny. He was celebrating
yeah,
Austin
but-
316. It was 15. It was 315.
I know it's a product for kids, but WWE get a joke, and then they proceed. That's funny, and then they proceed to explain the joke. That's not funny. So Truth comes in going, happy 316 day. Everyone knows it's the 15th, and then you've got Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke going, "Oh, Truth.
You silly goof.
It's not 316. That's tomorrow. Today is 3. It's like, right, yeah, thanks for explaining the joke, guys."
Yeah, I know what you mean. But Truth's great. He really does put all of it. He's Lana and Naomi corpsing was just that. His Truth says something, and Lana just laughs, but you can see that she's either pinching herself or she just has to compose herself really quick. And then Truth notices this and just starts just doing out. Do you know, it was a couple of weeks ago. It was this week on Raw Talk where Drew says fucking. And,
I had to see that go.
And it's Truth just waffling, just going, I had that problem too. So then, like, Drew comes over like saying, I'm Scottish. It's just in my blood. I do apologise. Can we bleep it? But yeah, Dana Brooke and Mandy beat Naomi and Hana. The New Day defeat the Hurt Business, new Raw Tag Team Champions.
This felt really unimportant.
It
feels like any New Day title win now at this point is just a number because like it's 11 and it's like
right. For me,
all right.
Put this match at Fastlane, have it on the kickoff or as an opener. New Day win it. AJ and Omos either come out on the Raw after and basically go, we want him. It's time for me and the big man to get a win. They have a bit of a thing. The Hurt Business then come out and go, I mean, at least we were the champions. We held it for a while. Gives opportunity. I'm more than happy to have a triple threat tag team. The New Day versus the Hurt Business versus AJ and Omos. I think the Hurt Business deserve to be on the Mania card.
It was just such an underwhelming way for the title reign to come to an end. I don't know where they go from here because I think the distancing from them. I think the separating them from Lashley and MVP,
which is such a shame because what they're doing, all of them together, works really well.
What a match we had next.
Damien Priest feat Jackson Riker, get in there, huge win.
32 seconds. Right, lots of problems. Right, Damien Priest has been on main roster for nearly 2 months, and he's beating Jackson Riker. What was my next one? Yeah, like
Bad Bunny's giving the title back to Truth.
Yeah, he's still with Bad Bunny, which is okay, right? Yeah, well, and yeah, Bad Bunny took the 24/7 title everywhere, on Saturday Night Live, on all the TV shows, and then he just went, "Yeah, do you know what, Truth? A bit bored of it, and I'll take it back."
Way to show the title a bit of respect.
Way to evaluate Mr. Bunny.
Fair play. So
It really irked me. It was like the New Day and the Street Profits just swapping titles at the Superstar Shake-Up. It was like, yeah, do you want a trip? Yeah, go on,
man. Miz hit Bad Bunny with a guitar.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're going. Like, the tag match between Priest, Bunny, and Miz and Morrison.
Did Chomo have a mullet as well on Raw?
Chomo?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident he had a mullet.
Didn't say that.
I think he did. I'm just trying to see this Miz hit as well. Does it break on Bad Bunny? Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, John Morrison did have a mullet. He didn't even break the guitar. That's quite a shame. Fancy saying Bad Bunny. Shane McMahon humiliated Braun Strowman. Before the open.
Look at you big idiot, Braun. Yeah. Here's a hopscotch grid. Look at you. That's stupid.
You got him, Shane.
Also, this segment is sponsored by Nickelodeon because what other way to humiliate a man than by covering him in slime that he then goes to the showers and just simply washes off?
Please, I want a WrestleMania match. Give me a WrestleMania with Braun Shane.
Well, they've got a Fastlane match. Do you think they're going to extend it out? I mean, what
I don't think they're wrestling at Fastlane. I don't think they are.
You think it's an angle?
Yeah, it's not been confirmed as a match yet.
Yeah, it has.
Has it? Oh, bloody Wikipedia hasn't even updated. Who do they think they are?
Has it not? That's where I found it. I found it on Wikipedia.
No, on the Wikipedia. I'm an idiot. Ignore me. I was on the WrestleMania 37 one. I'm just envisioning it there.
No, they are indeed having a singles match.
Asuka defeated Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, Asuka got a bit of an edge back. It's just a shame it came at the expense of Shayna Baszler. We'll look past that. Yeah, I'm a bit beyond it with Asuka just because they've just treated her so badly that when they do try and build her up again,
yeah,
I just thought any face was
flat on his face.
Yeah.
Riddle defeated Mustafa Ali.
Poor Mustafa. And then he yelled at Retribution afterwards. And look, this is just Retribution. They are just the mid-card bad guys who want change, and they never get it. And they're just a pushover.
Do you remember when, the debut Retribution night, they were attacking the electrical vans and hacking the screens and stuff?
Remember when they tore up the ring with that chainsaw?
Yeah.
Back in the
PC
days.
Do you remember when they had a bunch of people with them as well? How far we've come. In the main event, Bobby Lashley beat Sheamus. Sure.
Indeed, he did. Shit, right, hang on. Just quickly.
Is there anything
I'm just going to have a look at when was the last time Sheamus won a match. Because I feel like he's in Sami Zayn territory. Because Sami Zayn is still pretty high on the card. But he's wrestled. He's won one of his last 15 matches.
Sheamus.
No, Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn.
Like that's jobber status. Like, I bet some of the guys on main event have got a better record than that. But it's because he's Sami Zayn and he's so entertaining. You don't really think about him. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, Sheamus has lost three Raws. No, he hasn't lost 3 Raws in a row because that no DQ against Drew was a no contest.
That doesn't count.
But he pinned Jeff Hardy at Bucky's place in the chamber.
So,
I miss the days when he was throwing piss at people.
Fuck off! No one misses them days.
No.
Fuck it. I can't. That was Pissgate. What we'll do is we go for a while. The main event. Hold up. Do I even have a main event banner? No, that's Royal Rumble. Hold up. I can type it quick. Main event time. There we go. I put main event here. I'm leaving it. It's the main event of the evening. We're going to do Fastlane Predictions. So Fastlane this week. First of all, Simon. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton intergender match.
No contest.
Alexa Bliss. Somehow she's going to get the clean pin over Randy. Braun versus Shane.
A clean pin?
Maybe not a clean pin. She'll get the pin on Randy.
What do you say, Braun and Shane?
Yeah, please say Shane.
No contest.
Shane. Shane. He's going to be a stupid move. He's going to jump off like a 40-foot ladder or something, just because he can. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus.
Drew.
Yeah, Drew. Biggie versus Apollo.
Apollo.
Whoa! You saying Apollo wins the belt?
Yeah.
Nah, Biggie. Why Apollo?
So much momentum. Big E's had it for 3 months now. Been all right. I think Apollo wins. Big E moves on to the big title.
Okay.
I think maybe he beats Apollo. Apollo beats him at WrestleMania, and then afterwards, Big E faces the winner of Edge and Roman.
You know what? I'd like to see that. I want an intercontinental ladder match at Mania. I really do. I've got an irking for it. Like it's. I want it. Give me what I want. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler with Reginald's versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
Sasha and Bianca, surely.
To win the belts? They're true that they did lose.
Oh, no, sorry, I want.
Is
it a tag title match?
Yeah.
No, all right, Nia and Shayna, and then that's when the Sasha and Bianca feud really kicks into gear because at the moment it's been lacking. why do they need to be teammates? They know they're facing each other. Why are they teammates? I think they've done a really good job of it.
So do I. And then Roman Reigns versus, and it's Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. Edge or Jey Uso will be the special guest enforcer. Who's winning?
Sorry, what were it again? I'm not looking at the Wikipedia.
Reigns versus Bryan with Edge or Uso as a special guest.
Roman, I think Edge is the enforcer, but I think Roman Reigns still wins.
Yeah, same. I'd back in it. Edge, Roman win.
I've got no interest in seeing Jey Uso as the enforcer because the odds have been stacked in favour of Reigns so many times.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Edge would be a bit more down the middle. 100%. I feel like Edge would be a bit more down the middle, like Matt Cardona reffing an Eddie Edwards Brian Myers match.
And that's the thing. It's just get this over and done with. Have the Mania match. Just get to Mania. I think that's just get there, and would be good.
And just quickly, because as if there's not enough wrestling in the world right now, the NWA have got a pay-per-view this weekend.
What's it called?
Back for the Attack.
Oh, what name?
It is Sunday night. Are you ready for this? And it's at 8 p.m. UK time.
Wow.
I am going to be watching that live.
That is a perfect time for a pay-per-view.
And on the card, there's a four-way match between Crimson, Jack Stane, Jordan Clearwater, and Slice Boogie. A number one contenders match for the women's title between Thunder Rosa and Camille.
Good Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa, that's good. A singles match for the NWA World TV title between Elijah Burke, the Pope, and Tom Latimer, who was Brown.
Okay. Oh, right.
And the main event, a singles match for the world's heavyweight title, Nick Aldis versus Aaron Stevens.
Oh, wow. So it's good to see Aaron Stevens back.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 4 matches at the moment, and I've paid 20 quid for it, so I'm presuming there's going to be a bit more added. But that's that. And they've also said that starting from next Wednesday, they're bringing back NWA Power.
Ooh, nice.
So, but I think they're going to set up their own subscription service, and it's available on Fight TV for a small fee. So it's not free like on YouTube, but I might pay for it if I can find the time. I don't know.
That's it. If you can find the time, do it. But in fairness, NWA is one of them sneaky shows. You'll just have a look and they put on a class little 2-hour show.
It's come out of nowhere. There's not been much coverage, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. And
I'm sure they'll get a bit of promotion because the Thunder Rosa is main event in Dark AEW this week, so I'm sure they might get a little bit of promotion. A little bit. But thank you very much. It's been a long episode. Now we're 42. I think we did well to recap all the week. Simon did really well when he was going through all the wrestling. We'll be back at a new time of 10:30 on a Wednesday morning, if that's all right with Simon. We should be good.
That's good.
See you on Wednesday at 10:30 next week for Fastlane reviews, and then we are truly on the road to WrestleMania after that. But my God, that WrestleMania week is going to be fucking busy. Thank you very much. And, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.